But we're having a Blazer conversation here, and I'm glad we both agree that Shea looked good last night.
He did.
As Bob says on the YouTube chat. Shea was the best player on the court last night on either team, and I might not disagree with you, friend. I might not disagree with you. It was nice to see, and I think that's what's tough. And as we get into the Jerami Grant conversation from last night, I think that's what's really tough. And this is kind of what I was trying to say yesterday, and I don't think it landed very well. And so I'll take a mulligan today and try. Is I think what's really tough about preseason sometimes is the NBA deservedly at a lot of times, and maybe sometimes it not, doesn't feel like all guys are invested at all time in the regular season. You know, that cliche that goes around. I think a lot of that's warranted, and some of it might be picking on the league. That I think preseason can be a little bit of tough on that aspect as well. And that's why you might see guys like Drew Holiday or Jerami Grant not have great games from a shooting perspective, because they kind of already know what they are. They kind of know what they can do.
Yeah.
And, you know, if vets, I'm not saying these guys specifically, I'm definitely not saying it about Drew Holiday. I'm not saying these guys specifically are taking regular season games off. But if vets on a whole are taking regular season games off, you're for sure taking preseason games off, which is, to my argument again,
it's a ramp.
It's why watching preseason basketball is a little challenging for me.
If you talk to anybody that's been in the league for more than 5-6 years, they'll all tell you it's about a ramp up. You have to, like, you can't take it lightly. You can't just go out there and jog.
Now, I think what's tough is due to the off-season noise and just comments made, you know, whether positive or negative from Jerami Grant. I think it's just the aesthetic of last night is what's brutal.
Ball didn't go in hoop.
Ball did not go in hoop.
But that's the thing is, I don't care about that stuff. Like, Jerami has earned the benefit of the doubt over the last 5 years of being a good shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, last season was a disaster. There's no way around that offensively. He just could not shoot from two.
Get your thoughts in, 503-864-6326.
But what did you see from Jerami Grant, which is why the reason I still think he's going to start?
Rebounds.
Defense. That's what you saw last night. You saw Jerami be plugged in on that. When you have Drew to Jerami, like they're going to switch everything.
Yeah, and I think that's what's tough when you have such a young team like this, is that you need that veteran presence that can show you defense, especially if that's what you're going to hang your hat on, which is what everybody, you know, locally, this show, you and nationally are saying the Blazers are going to be really good at is defensive. And maybe that is what gets Jerami Grant continuous minutes in the starting lineup. Again, I don't want to overreact to a preseason game because they are vets, but
I don't care about shooting.
I will double down on it though. The aesthetic of his shooting was bad last night.
I don't care about shooting for guys in the preseason. It's good. Like Shea going 4 of 8, that's good. But like, I need to see it from you throughout the season. But it's for me, preseason is not. And same thing with summer league. It's not about box scores. It's about what I see.
Mm-hmm. It's eyeballs.
And for me, Shaden ball going hoop again. Great. You want to see that? You're going to hear me say that 82 times this season.
But I would argue my eyeballs said that Jerami Grant wasn't very good last night.
Offensively, he wasn't. Ball not going hoop. But what I want Jerami Grant out there to do is to play defense. I want him to be a switchable guy. I want him to be a guy that's going to take the right shots at the right time. Which is, if it's a catch and shoot three, great. If it's attacking and closeout, great. If you've got a mismatch in the mid post, great. Whatever that is. There's 82 of these things. And it's not making excuses. It's just, how do you go about it? What is the thing that you do? And from Jerami, the thing that you want to see from this team, in talking to the coaching staff, talking to the front office, talking to players, they all believe in who they are fundamentally defensively. Like, that's a very, very, very real thing. The one caveat to that is, what do you need to do to end every single defensive possession?
Make a stop. Well, what do you rebound?
Ding, 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 ding. That is where they're a little iffy on.
And that might be what I'm talking about with Klingon. Like
he was insane on the offensive glass, but defensive glass won. But you look at, and this is where I want to see Shea. This is where I want to see Jerami. Both those guys, 5 and 6 defensive rebounds. Oh, sorry, 5 and 4. 5 and 4 defensive rebounds. They came in and helped on the glass. Do I want Donovan grabbing the ball and outletting it? Great. That'd be fantastic. But also, you want other guys coming in and igniting the break and not having to stall. Grab the ball and go. That was the one thing that popped out with that starting group.
Tempo.
They were getting after it. And I thought Jerami was a big part of that too. And that if he's out there, again, box score stuff, it's whatever. But Jerami did have 3 steals. He is getting in passing lanes. He is being disruptive. Those are the things that I want to see from him. That is what he is out there to do, is to be this switchable hybrid defender that allows them to deploy Drew, two, and him and just be like, deal with this. Have fun. And you've got Donovan Kling on the back line, and then whoever else is out there, whether it's Shea, whether it's Chris, whether it's Denny. I mean, Denny not starting, people are like, oh, Denny, Jeremy. It's like Chauncey Billups is going to flirt with all kinds of different lineups. He has already said that. He is going to go through various starting groups. I did find it interesting that Denny was the first guy to not start the game.
Well, I wonder if some of that is Euro.
Certainly recovering from Eurobasket.
Yeah, being
but
in
also,
Euro.
I do believe there's a little bit of the way media day went. There's this perception, and makes Shea feel probably a little better, give him the opportunity to go out there and sink or swim, and he swam last night.
I also think, and we talked about this yesterday, I'm going to come at this with you as we're talking Blazers throughout the season. I'm going to try to relate to the more casual fan.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to what the lineup was last night, dare I argue that is the lineup the casual fan wants, based on names on the back of the jersey, not necessarily names on play. Because I think the casual fan desperately wants Shaden Sharpe to be the guy.
Yeah, but I think they also don't want Jeremy to start. It's Denny starting.
Oh, that might be fair, but I'm looking at it more from the Shaden situation, and that's why I thought it was fascinating. Again, let's not overhype the starting lineup, because it will be different tomorrow. Yeah. And I want it to be different tomorrow. I like a coach that's going to mess with a lineup. And look, we've seen this with Warriors teams in the past. Starting lineups aren't always the guys that get the most minutes. No. Sometimes it's like, how do we want to start? What kind of tempo pace do we want to go with? Yep. Do we want to slow down? Do we want to be defensive early, or do we want to run and gun?
Or do we want to have a little more offense coming off the bench, or another ball handler? Like, those are the things you kind of look at.
But I'm going to triple down, quadruple down that the casual fan wants Shaden to start because we want him to be the next Damian Lillard.
Yeah, but
the next great Portland Trailblazer.
That doesn't happen if he's not good enough to start.
Some of your thoughts on the fan text line and the YouTube chat. The problem with Shea is we've seen these bright spots before, but we need to see from him his consistency of these kinds of performances. I don't think anybody disagrees with that.
No.
I think that's a lot of it. The talent is there on Shea. It's always been there. The fact that you're a top 10 pick and had a practice at Kentucky.
Yes.
We know the talent is there. I also thought this one, and maybe we didn't give enough flowers as well, I thought Shea looked good and started to answer some of the concerns we had going in. But honestly, I thought 2 was impressive.
Yeah.
If he can add a bit more to his offensive game, oh boy, watch out. I heard Swag kind of oomphin' some Tumani moments earlier in their show. And that's true. Tumani Kamara could become the new Giant fan favorite. You know,
look, I have seen some folks that I know who work in the NBA analytics department that have they're like, look, 2's a couple years older, but I could see a Jimmy Butler light trajectory with him.
Whoa. Don't get my sports pants tied. I love Jimmy Butler.
But if you go look at the early genesis of Jimmy Butler, he wasn't the guy that we know now. It was a guy that early on was, a late draft pick that kind of worked his way into some stuff, got some more ball handling duties.
Oh, it was
defensive, tenacious nightmare.
It was Marquette all over again after D Wade. We were like, when did this guy learn how to score?
Yeah.
And Jimmy Butler became the same thing because they were both defensive studs
you had
coming into the league.
Honestly, it's the same trajectory as Wes Matthews. It's why I've used Wes so much. They're different players, but Wes Matthews is the guy for me for 2, because Wes came here as a guy who couldn't shoot, early in his career, worked with Jeff Hornacek, basically begged him to help him fix his jumper because he was being taken off the floor his rookie year with the Utah Jazz. Then he got to Portland and was like an okay shooter, and then he started working on that. And then it was attacking closeouts, and then it was posting up James Harden in the playoffs and hunting him maliciously. Like, he just added something to his game every single year. And I look at 2, it's like, I don't need you to be Jimmy Butler.
Right.
But if all of a sudden you can attack a mismatch off the bounce,
I will buy a jersey tomorrow.
Like, two is one of my favorite players. Like,
I know he is. I know he is.
I love him as a dude, but I love his game. And I think he does have a little bit more. I think he can work as a screener in pick and roll game and working out of the short roll. Like, he's got some stuff to him. Like, when you've got 6'8", 240-pound forwards who can just do stuff, that's the most singular valuable thing in the league. Now, it's a sliding scale of how much stuff you can do, because with Denny, because he's this 6'9", 250-pound forward who can put the ball down, all of a sudden it bends a defense. You're just like, yeah, there's not a lot we can really do with this defensively, can we? It's like, no, you can't. And so when you have that, that's where I want to see. But all in all, good game last night. Everybody's like, oh, they lost. I don't care. The reserves came in.
Nobody
They had a
cares.
21-point lead. Like, you saw what you wanted to see as far as like tempo, defense, Shea knocking down some shots, getting up volume threes, getting to the free throw line. I mean,
nobody in San Francisco is freaking out that the Warriors were down by 21 to the Blazers.
But I will say, if you want an earmark for this, 23 offensive rebounds. Holy crap!
I want that. I
mean, that is crashing the offensive glass.
Blazers preseason part 2 mañana here in Portland, so you'll be able to check that out. We'll probably circle back on this around come Monday. It'll be all right. Come Monday.